Right guys, quick run through the squad and how they have performed this season. Connor Baker, who's been out on loan at Leeds, has gone up by 1 overall and is now a 70. Kelly, meanwhile, has had some playtime this season for ourselves, but stays at a 71 and is now 25 years of age. We'll skip both Watkins and Clark as they've just been promoted from the youth academy. But next up we've got Andre Thomas, the Jamaican goalkeeper who is our frontline keeper, 78 overall and has gone up by 2 overall this season. Philip Moran has been out on loan. He has gone up by 4 overall and is now a 70 rated left back. Can play right back as well, bear that in mind. We then got Billy Wilson, who's been playing right back for us this season, 84 overall, has gone up by 1 overall this season, 24 years of age, and has been quite exceptional for us in that right back position. Nicholson has really been the understudy this season at the left back position underneath Rico Henry, now 19 years of age, 71 overall, having gone up by 4 overall this season. Next up we've got Shane McCutcheon, one of the brothers that has stuck around this season, with his brother having been sold for a massive amount of money earlier on in the last window. 72 overall, having gone up by 2 overall, can play left back, right back or centre back, so that's the reason why we're keeping him around. He's a totally versatile player. Bought in the last transfer window, Rico Henry has had some really great performances for us, 80 overall still, and does provide a really good piece of attacking verve to the squad. Dwan Patterson, centre-back, has come back into the main lineup ahead of Connor Cody, because although he does have a slightly lower overall, he is a better player out there on the field. 78 overall, gone up by 2 this season, and believe he will actually be the frontline centre-back alongside Morris this season. Next up we got Duncan Campbell, who is still growing, up by 3 this season, 77 overall. The Scotsman had that injury in the early part of the season that put him out of contention, but still really enjoy playing with this guy, so I do intend on keeping him around. He has been with us since the very start. Next up we got another man who's been around from the beginning. Max Allen hasn't had a heaps of game time this season, but he's a very versatile player, so we will keep him around. 75 overall, having gone up by 3 this season. Frank Ziegler is joining Hamburg once the transfer window opens. Harvey Morris, we bought in during that last transfer window, has gone up by 1 overall to an 81. Can play centre back, centre mid or right back, but obviously is exceptional at centre back. Connor Cody, been a little bit disappointed with him if I'm honest. Hasn't really filled the potential that we expected of him, and he might be going out the door in the transfer window if we find a decent enough bid for him. Daryl Connor is going to AZ on loan when the transfer window opens. Bradley Bennett has been out on loan this season and has gone up by 6 overall to a 66. 20 years of age now, unsure as to whether we will be able to get him into the squad because of the amount of central midfielders that we've got, so I'll probably send him out on loan again once that loan expires. Paz, again, only 19 years of age, has gone up by 4 again this season to a 77, which actually gives him one of the highest ratings in the squad from the central midfield role point of view, so you might see him feature next season. I might not send him out on loan. If I do, it'll probably just be for 6 months. Eddie Patterson went out on loan to Genoa midway through the season, so he will continue to be out there for the start of next. I'm just trying to keep his stats up and keep him around, to be honest, for the foreseeable future. Johannes Bergström, 18 years of age, Swedish central defensive midfielder, again has been out on loan this season and gone up by 3 overall to a 70. Barry Hamilton, another central defensive midfielder that's come through the youth academy, 72 overall now, gone up by 3 this season, and again will probably go out on loan going into next season. Ian Taylor, as we already know, unfortunately is joining Hoffenheim when the transfer window opens. Wasn't happy with the amount of game time he was getting, and I couldn't really promise him anything else. A couple of players here that have come up through the academy, Scott and Wilson, who we'll show you in a moment. Scott here is transfer listed and will be going as soon as we get a decent enough offer for him. Wilson is already joining Torquay when the window opens. Morris, again, he's still loan listed, keeping him around on the basis that he's been with us for quite some time, and he still feels relatively good when you've got him on the ball. Fredrickson still got that potential to be special, gone up by 4 again this season to a 73. Hasn't had a huge amount of game time, if I'm honest, through the back end of the season as we were trying to get those wins under our belt, but I will try to make sure that he features next year if we can't get him a decent loan deal. Lucas Patterson, again, has not had a great deal of game time in the back end of the season, but has featured sporadically as a substitute and come on and given us some really good performances. He's gone up by 3 overall again this season, and now he's at 76. Adalton we bought in as a free transfer and has been absolutely spectacular. Gone up by 3 overall this season to a 78, showing great potential, and really he is a good player to play with, so we will certainly be keeping him around. Pierce Rafferty submitted a transfer request, now only 39 overall, 34 years of age, still thinks he's got a season in him by all accounts. I want to make him one of the youth academy coaches, but he's adamant that he wants game time, and so he will probably head off at the end of this season to get another season somewhere else and then come back as a coach. Jude Bellingham, 77 overall now, having gone up by 6 this season, and hasn't played a huge amount of games, but when he has, he's done pretty well. Again, I think it will be more of a rotation role for him next season, unless he has a massive push on, but we will see. Daniel Mcdonald, been an astounding buy for us, as we all know. He scores some amazing goals for us when we need him, comes up clutch and gets them from distance. This season he has scored 9 goals in the Premier League with an average rating of 7.5. That is not too tardy for a player that we didn't pay a huge amount of money for. His progression continues to astound me, and hopefully he will break the 80s next season. Jack Grealish, as we know, we bought in at the end of the last transfer window, and he has been phenomenal for us. Not getting too many goals, but certainly providing assistance when required. Then we've got Justice Schwartz out on loan, gone up by 3 overall to a 68. Tommy Shelby, again, has the potential to be special. He's up to 77 this season, having gone up by 7. Again, hasn't had a huge amount of game time, but he is one of those players that is certainly going to go places once he reaches sort of the 80s, I reckon, and we can really start to put him into the squad. Johnny Garrett we bought in the transfer window and has been amazing out on that right wing. 19 years of age, has potential to be special, already 83 and gone up by 2 this season. I think he's got a couple of goals for us. Indeed he has, 2 in the Premier League from 12 appearances, a 7.6 as an average, a very good return from him. Rivero out on loan to Basel has not improved, stayed at 68, and to be honest will probably be sold when he comes back, just as Sean Medine probably will be too, who has been out on loan to Mainz but has only improved by 3 to 74. Scott Evans has sort of plateaued at 74, can't really get him into the squad because of the type of depth that we've currently got, and I'm probably going to send him out on loan next season just to try and get him some game time elsewhere and continue that growth. Meanwhile, Jordan Graham has gone down by 1 overall. He's now 30 and will leave the club when the transfer window opens. We've managed to bag £1.65 million for his services though. Then we got Demiri Gray bought in during the last window again. 80 overall still. He's 29 years of age, so will probably start to decline quite shortly. We'll be looking for backup in that position if we send Scott Evans out on loan, because obviously Graham is leaving. Although having said that, Smithy can play left wing as well, so we'll just see how that kind of unfolds. Craig Marshall, still only 20 years of age, still has the potential to be special and has gone up by 4 overall again this season to a 78. Overshadowed a little bit by the arrival of Garrett, but I still think he has got the option of being a very good backup and potentially being a player that we go to for the front team instead of Garrett, who might end up playing a different position on the field going forward. Marshall has had a 6.7 overall, scored 3 goals from 25 appearances in the Premier League, so a little bit adrift, and that's why obviously he's lost out his position to Garrett. Lloyd Smith again hasn't really had a huge amount of game time, but again has that something special, and is up to a 75, having gone up by 3 overall this season. Might look to try and get him out on loan next season, just to get him some more game time. Silla, who's just been brought up from the youth academy, has already found somewhere to go out on loan to try to get some experience. At 64 overall, he just isn't going to break into the first team, and I don't think I can give him too many opportunities here, so we have sent him out on loan for a year. Meanwhile, Michael Hughes is out on loan already, having been brought up from the youth academy. 65 overall, has gone up by 4. Obviously going to be adrift of getting a starting place, but when he comes back, may stick around just for some squad depth. Ruben Widrington, been a very good player for us this season as a backup, has improved by 3 overall to a 75. In terms of his stats, he scored 5 goals in the Premier League from 22 appearances, so not too bad, especially as most of the time he comes on and plays that left wing position, so that obviously limits his chances on goal. But I'm really quite impressed by Ruben Widrington, and hopefully we can keep him around for a little while longer. And then lastly, we've obviously kept the best till last, because Bjorn Nystrom is head and shoulders above everybody else in this squad. Now 88 overall, gone up by 3 this season still, and although he hasn't got the potential to be special by the looks of it, he's already up to the top tier in terms of his stats. Stats wise, he has scored 21 goals for us this season in the Premier League and 24 in total. He's got an overall average of 7.7, 7.6 of that in the Premier League, which is absolutely astounding given the amount of appearances he's made. Again, he's going nowhere and has been an amazing player for us from front to back. He's been in the squad almost from the very beginning and continues to score some absolutely crucial goals for us. So with 47 men in the squad, obviously a few will be departing, we're pretty much stacked out, but we should have a huge amount of money going into the start of next season. So if you do have any ideas about who you were thinking we should be bringing in, do let me know in the comment section down below. And just remember that obviously we have a penchant for stealing players that have featured for Midlands clubs, are from the Midlands, or obviously youth academy players in general. Now if you did enjoy this episode, do go on to smash that like button, and if you're new around here, also subscribe to the channel for more FIFA 20 content. But for now, thanks for watching, stay safe, I'm out of here.